Biblical commentaries. Should you use them? If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I put out at least one video a week now that I'm back on a normal schedule. If you don't have me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, go do all that. The username is the same on all of them. And if you want to help support what I'm doing financially so that I can start doing some cooler stuff, which a lot of you guys are already doing, and I love you guys who are doing it. If you want to be a part of that, find me on Patreon. It's just patreon.com/tattooedtheist. I'll put a link in the description below. So first, what is a commentary? Joe, what is a commentary? A commentary essentially is one person's opinion or one person's interpretation of a biblical text. It's usually the whole Bible or the New Testament. Sometimes you can get them pieced out into books or epistles. But basically how they look is you'll see like 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 6, and it'll read that verse. And then right under it, if I were writing the commentary, I would write what I think that verse says. That's really all it is. It's my interpretation of what that verse says. So in explaining what a commentary is, that is what I'm going to build the foundation of my argument on. That really, it's just one person's opinion of what the text should be interpreted as. So I posted the question on Instagram like I always do ahead of time, and there were already a bunch of people like raving about commentaries. That they're the best thing ever, that they're a great Bible study tool, that they always use them, that blah, 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 which is cool. That's great. A lot more people use them than what I thought. I never knew about commentaries until I was in seminary. Although I did move very quick. Like, I became a Christian and then I went to seminary. But still, so that's cool that you guys know what they are even. And it's great that you're using them. But you got to know some things if you're going to use them. Otherwise, especially if you're in seminary doing some sort of ministry work or whatever, you're going to get yourself into some trouble or at least into some confusion if you don't understand what's really happening in a commentary. So, essentially, you can look at it like this. The Christian faith has a bunch of different denominations. The most famous statistic is roughly 40,000, if you count all of them, including super small ones. That's a lot. How that happens is they read the Bible and they interpret it how they interpret it. Well, if their church doesn't agree with it, they go start another church. Boom, different denomination, different beliefs. Now, the differences range from like, don't really matter, to completely change the entire religion. So it can be drastic, or it can be little. Either way, that makes a denomination. Commentaries are exactly the same. A commentary is not, you can't just find a biblical commentary. A commentary is literally one person or a group of people's opinion. It's their interpretation of what the text says. It's an opinion. It's not fact. Because just like Christian denominations, you will find thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of commentaries that all don't match at all. They're completely freaking different. Look at the same verse in this commentary, this one, this one, this one, this one. Some might match because people do agree. But the ones that don't match, like, there will be huge indiscrepancies to the point where it changes doctrine, which is why we have different denominations. So you just have to know that when picking a commentary, you have to understand it's somebody's opinion. It's not fact. You got to know that. So, for example, I brought up seminary. I'm starting my 5th year in a couple weeks. I always use different commentaries, meaning I have a bookshelf in my house that is covered full of commentaries. And I purposely, when I'm doing a research project of some kind, I will use commentaries from people who totally disagree with each other, because that's unbiased. So I'll compare them. Some things I'll agree with, some things I'll disagree with. But either way, in my paper or whatever I'm doing, if it's, whatever, I'll get 2 different opinions. Because who's to say who's right? Not I, sir. So I take both, and I formulate, what I think, what I believe. But I'll never say I'm right, and you guys already know that. So you just gotta know that they're just people's opinions. None of it is fact. If you think your opinion is fact, cool, so does everybody else. Well, Joe, does that mean they're not good Bible study tools? No, that's not what that means. It just means take it with a grain of salt. I can write a biblical commentary. I can do that. I can publish it. You could buy it. What if you disagree with me? Like you just, and the issue, I don't know, man, I could get into some crazy stuff right now. The reality is that if you're an average Christian, you're going to go from commentary to commentary until you find one that aligns with what you believe. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because you do the same thing with churches. You go to a church, don't like what they say? Cool. Go to a different one. Like what they say? Cool, I'm going to stay. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's the majority of Christianity. I wish people were more open to different ideas and like other people's opinions and weren't so self-righteous and thinking that everything they believe is totally right. But that's just not the reality. So, I'm going to start rambling real hard here if I don't reel it in. Okay. Commentaries are great Bible study tools. They are great seminary tools. They are just someone's opinion though. You take a world-renowned biblical scholar who wrote a commentary. You take another world-renowned biblical scholar who wrote a commentary. They will look and read totally different. How they interpret the book of Matthew will be totally different, totally different. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they're not fact, they're opinion. So you have to know that. But then again, in religion, everything's opinion. As long as you don't take them as fact and like read this dude's opinion and then like use that as scripture, like make that canon in your head, that's cool. New information is great. Taking in other people's opinions is great. My opinion is that it only matters if you're taking in more than just the people's opinions who you agree with though. So I would challenge you guys to go get a commentary from a scholar that you don't agree with, a different denomination. Read it. Think about it. You're probably still going to disagree with it. It's fine. At least you did it. At least you have different things to compare. Research isn't research if it's totally biased. That's just the reality. Bible study isn't Bible study, in my opinion, if you only read and study things outside of the Bible that already agree or reaffirm your preconceived notions about the Bible, your preconceived ideas about what you believe about the Bible. That's not really study. That's you reaffirming yourself to make you feel good. Go read somebody who disagrees with you. Get challenged. So that's my challenge. Commentaries are great. Totally cool. Great tool. They're just an opinion though. That's it. They can be scholarly opinions, but like I said, take two of the best scholars in the world, they're going to disagree. Doesn't make it fact just because they have a bunch of degrees. Nobody ever wins in religion if you guys haven't figured it out. So you just got to take them with a grain of salt. I challenge you to go read a different one from somebody who you know you're not going to agree with. That's how you grow. It may just reaffirm what you believe. You may be like, this guy's crazy. Cool, at least you did the work, man. At least you actually researched. That's it. Short video. You're welcome for once. Next week, I want to say, now I'm trying to remember what I'm doing next week. Please hold while I'm very rude and get on my cell phone. Oh. Okay, so next video is going to be fun. It's going to be one of those videos that I do where people get really pissed off. Just because, like, it doesn't matter. People are just going to get pissed off. So essentially what the video is going to be about. The question was, is God a perfect being? And if he is, why does humanity look the way it does? Now the cop-out answer is obviously the fall, right? Sin. We're going to get deeper than that. We're going to get deep. It's gonna be good. Yo. So make sure you have me on Instagram because that's how you're going to find out when I'm going to do it. The videos are not like scheduled to a day like they were before because my life is a cluster right now. So I'm just doing them when I can. So that's it. I love you guys. Use commentaries. They're great. Just be careful. Don't pretend like they're law or scripture or canon because they're just not. There's some dude sitting in an office's opinion and he may be wrong. The majority of people are, I'm just going to start rambling again. Okay. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.